Get ready to hear the truth about America on a show that's not immune to the facts with your host, Dan Bongino.
Ron DeSantis strikes again. I'm loving this guy. I'm loving this guy more and more by the minute, probably because I live in Florida, number one, and get to feel the ramifications of the conservative governing system Ron DeSantis has implemented down here, where shocking things happen, like you are allowed to leave your house and go eat in a restaurant without the threat of arrest, torture, and prosecution. Shocking things happen like that in Florida every day. No state income tax either. But he strikes again. I got a great video of him sticking it double-barrel middle finger style to the media buffoons, corporate titans, and big business bow tie wearing elitist slobs who hate American freedom right now. DeSantis is in the way. I got that. And a huge story that broke yesterday. An expose done on CNN by Project Veritas. But there were some bigger things in there that were left out of some of the coverage yesterday. There's so much there. Today's show brought to you by ExpressVPN. Why haven't you gotten a VPN yet? Protect your privacy. Get a VPN. Go to expressvpn.com/Bongino. Welcome to the Dan Bongino Show. Let's get right to it today. I got this and a lot more, including a story about the suburbs under attack again. You live in the burbs? Suburbia, you live in the burbs? Sorry, I know my singing stinks. Well, what do they say, that old line about a liberal? It's a conservative, a conservative's a liberal who's been mugged. You going to get mugged soon? Mugged, air quotes? We'll see. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Bravo ExpressVPN too. Bravo Company Manufacturing got their shirt on. Love their shirts here. Started in a garage by a Marine veteran more than 2 decades ago. Bravo Company Manufacturing, or BCM for short, builds a professional-grade product built to combat standards. It's the best rifles out there, period. Period, full stop. I went to a gun show a couple weeks ago. A guy was telling me how great BCM is. He listens to my show. Why? Because BCM believes every American should be entitled to the same level of protection provided to our private citizens, professionals, to our law enforcement, and everyone else. Bravo Company Manufacturing, they're not a sporting arms company, okay? You want a sporting rifle? Those are great products, but that's not what BCM builds. Why would I tell you what they're not? What are they? Well, here's what they are. They design, engineer, and manufacture life-saving equipment and the best life-saving equipment out there. BCM assumes when a rifle leaves their shop, it'll be used, God forbid, in a life or death situation by a responsible citizen, law enforcement, or a soldier overseas. So quality is all that matters to them. Every component of a BCM rifle is hand-assembled and tested by Americans in Heartland, Wisconsin to a life-saving standard. I have mine on point every time. BCM puts people before their products. They feel it's their moral responsibility to provide Americans the tools that won't fail them. God forbid it's not just a paper target, but someone looking to do you harm. BCM works with top instructors of marksmanship, and that's how they build their products. They teach these skills necessary to defend yourself, your family, or others. You want to learn more about them? To learn more about Bravo Company Manufacturing, I highly recommend them. Head on over to BravoCompanyMFG.com. Discover more about their products, special offers, and upcoming news. That's BravoCompanyMFG.com. You can also check out their YouTube channel and the awesome people and products at YouTube.com/Bravo Company USA. Great products. All right, Joe, let's go.
Right.
All right. Ooh, yeah, Joe getting a little more excited by the day.
Baby.
You know, Joe used to get up at 2:00 in the morning to do the morning show. So now that Joe gets up at like 4:30, it feels like he's getting up at like 9:00. So he's all excited in the morning. All right. So yesterday we had this video of Ron DeSantis, sometimes known when they misspell his name on Twitter as Ron Desnatis. I love DeSantis. This guy, if someone not named Trump, doesn't run, if someone, I screwed that whole thing up. If someone by the name of Trump doesn't run I rarely screw things up. I totally stepped on myself there. In 2024, if Donald Trump doesn't want to run, just make it simple. This is my guy right now. He's the best in the business. Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, strikes again. So Ron DeSantis had a panel, little backstory here, talking about, God forbid, a little bit of back and forth on the coronavirus, the value of masks, vaccines, science. When medical professionals who were on this panel, trained doctors, these weren't, witch doctors. This wasn't the Salem witch trials. These were real doctors on a board. So they did a video of this panel with Governor DeSantis and these very skilled, talented, smart doctors. Well, God forbid that happen with the YouTube communist tyrant losers. I'm on YouTube, by the way, and let me tell you again, for the YouTube people that screen my videos, plant one on my caboose. I can't stand you. Ban my videos, ban my show. I don't care. I just love telling you as you watch my video what loser, communist, fascist you all are. I really don't like you. I hope you're listening because I know you screen all my videos, okay? So YouTube decided that the governor of Florida, God forbid he discussed the science of coronavirus, masks, and other stuff with doctors. That had to be banned because YouTube is populated by fascist communists. Yes, that's a fact. So they banned the video because they're pieces of human filth. And they've got to watch me saying this on their platform. Isn't it great? So Ron DeSantis got up in front of the mic and decided he was going to take it to YouTube and the YouTube communists because that's what they are. DeSantis strikes again. Check this out.
And some of our biggest media conglomerates who claim to be avatars of the First Amendment and free exchange of ideas, they've really become cheerleaders for censorship. If something doesn't fit the overriding narrative, then in their view, it's better that it get left on the cutting room floor. It's best that you edit it out of existence rather than actually tell people the truth. So I think what we're really witnessing is Orwellian. It's a big tech corporate media collusion. And the end result is that the narrative is always right. Well, I don't think that that's what the American people want, certainly people here in Florida.
Listen, folks, I am being as serious as a heart attack right now. We are in a world of trouble. I'm not being silly or intentionally hyperbolic or anything like that. We are in a world of trouble. We are descending at an increasingly rapid rate into fascism, chaos. You're seeing the evaporation of civil liberties in live time, the Bill of Rights being used like toilet paper, the Constitution being thrown out, the rapid spread of insane, deadly ideas like the defunding of the police and the abolition of our military. I was talking to Paula yesterday. She was, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound rambly today. It's not my intention at all, but sometimes I just like to open up to you and just be candid with my audience one-to-one, if you don't mind. And you'll allow me this for a moment as a point of personal privilege. She was sitting next to me, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes with the show right now. A lot I don't share with you because you have your own lives and your own problems to deal with, and I don't need to bore you with all the details. But there's a lot going on with the show right now. There is a lot of pressure to do a lot of things, which I roundly ignore, and I do my own thing. But there's a lot of pressure to want to toe up to a line. I'm not talking about pressure from these companies I work for. Leave me alone. It's not them. It's other things. You're going to see a lot of changes in this show with things like sponsors and everyone else because I'm done with it. We are rapidly moving towards an environment where conservatives are not just going to be second-class citizens. We already are. Where you will be third and fourth-class citizens and actively discriminated against by people who celebrate it. There's a difference between not having access to the free market like conservatives don't right now. You're not allowed to be on YouTube in many cases. You're not allowed to engage in any kind of corporate commerce without being boycotted. It's not just that. There are people now openly silencing and attacking conservatives, trying to have them jailed, trying to have them sanctioned, bankrupted, financially bankrupted, fired from their jobs. This is all happening right now. And it's all happening because of the Democrat Party and the liberals. They are now the party of rich bow tie wearing corporate elites, totalitarians, the corporate oligarchy, and the big tech fascists out there. They are fascists. That's not in dispute. I'm not going to argue with you if you're a liberal listening to my show. What fascists do, liberals and big tech do now. Fascists are afraid of free speech, public gatherings, and civil liberties. They're afraid and insecure because they know they're wrong, so they crush it. That's what big tech, YouTube, Google, Facebook, Twitter, that's what they do right now. The tactics of fascists are the tactics of big tech and their liberal allies. These tech giants are working with the media, liberals, the Biden administration, bureaucrats in the federal government who can't keep their mouth shut to crush you every single day. That's what this block is going to be about today. And again, my apologies. I don't mean this to sound rambly. I'm just telling you, behind the scenes, I was talking to my wife yesterday about everything going on. It is coming at us from every direction. It's not a sob story. I relish the fight, and you should too. I was freaking born for this, man. I'm telling you. It only hardens me more, and this bout I had with my health has only put horse blinders on me to see what really matters has nothing to do with money or anything else. The fight is all that matters, and it's all that should matter to you. And she looked at me as I was having this conversation with her, Paula, and she's like, is this going to get worse? And I said, not only is it going to get worse, it's going to get really worse, really, really fast. A bit of good news, though, before I get in, because I don't want to, again, leave you early in the show so down and dour. The good news about us descending into total chaos rapidly because of the left is it's shaken a lot of people from their slumber. There are a lot of middle-class folks out there who, understandably, they're worried about their kids, their jobs, getting to the kids' soccer games. This is what parents do. There's nothing unusual or wrong about it. Who are now saying, I know because they're emailing me, totally politically inactive their entire lives up till now. Friends of mine, I grew up with nothing to do with politics at all, saying, is this real? Is this happening? People are waking up in droves. The only good news about the rapid descent is we're going to hit a bottom soon. And I promise you, I know it the Lord will not let this country go down like that. You don't have to be religious to believe that. I choose to be. He won't. There will be an ascent just as fast where freedom and liberty will reemerge. And these people on the other side of it, the big tech tyrant, totalitarian fascists, their liberal buddies, the Biden administration, they will all have to answer for this soon. You doubt me that there's a big media, big tech, big liberal symbiote right now looking to crush this country using fascist tactics? Here's an article I saw this morning on Bongino Report, my alternative to the Drudge Report. It's in our newsletter, Bongino.com/newsletter, if you'd like to read this stuff. Or you can just go to Bongino Report. Front page. Anti-free speech Muslim group sues Facebook for not removing sites opposing jihad violence. What? So just to be clear, there are a bunch of groups out there that oppose violence in the name of religion or anything else. Me too, by the way. And there is a group out there suing Facebook to get those groups removed. I guarantee you Facebook will entertain this too. This is the crazy world we live in. This is not a joke. Check it out at Bongino Report. Read the whole story if you think I'm messing with you. So this tech site reported on Thursday, this is from the piece, that the far-left legal group Muslim Advocates has filed a consumer protection lawsuit against Facebook for allowing, quote, anti-Muslim hate to spread on the platform, leading to real-world harm. The organization provided a list of what it claimed were 26, quote, anti-Muslim hate groups. Get a load of this one. Including organizations dedicated simply to opposing jihad violence and Sharia oppression of women, gays, and others. Again, explain to me how the big tech media, big corporate bow tie wearing liberal crowd are not fascists. Explain that to me again with a straight face. So be clear with this whole block. If I haven't laid it out to you, we are going to lay out in detail the rapid descent to fascism we're going right now. Not a joke, not hyperbole. The exact same tactics of fascists. Well, Dan, they haven't resorted to the violence yet. Have you been to Portland with Antifa where they tried to burn a building down with federal agents in it? Have you been to a BLM rally? One I had to walk through in Washington, D.C. where people were literally threatening to rape my wife? That's not a joke. They have descended into violence. The media just covers it all up. They are working right now to crush dissent. That is the very hallmark of fascist tactics.
Yep.
They will only allow approved narratives. Only. The media, liberal, big tech, big business symbiote right now. Here's a video. James O'Keefe's group, Project Veritas, which has been doing yeoman's work to expose CNN and others. This big media, propaganda, Pravda-like outfit working at rapid pace to usher in fascism and the elimination of civil liberties in this country, the markets, free dialogue, and everything. Here is an undercover video recorded by a Project Veritas, an actual journalist, of a CNN employee, a staffer, basically admitting, this is a short clip. You can go to Project Veritas' website. I have the link in the newsletter today. You can check out the whole video. Here is a CNN staffer admitting the network engages in propaganda to get Trump out of office. I thought they were a news organization. They're admitting it now, this guy, on a hidden video, and also admitting to something else about an approved narrative, something that got lost in the shuffle yesterday. Check this out. It's important.
Our focus was to get Trump out of office, right? Without saying it, that's what it was, right? So our next thing is going to be for climate change awareness.
Do you think it's going to be just like a lot of like fear, like climate?
Yeah, fear sells. Fear sells. No one ever says those things out loud, but it's obvious.
You think you're being told the truth? You thought news was news? Folks, we're living in a 24-hour Pravda-like Soviet Union, fascist-type media environment. I do not throw these words around loosely. The exact same tactics fascists and propagandists use in communist totalitarian empires and exploding fascist environments are the same tactics being used by this symbiotic, destructive organism, big tech, big business, big media, and big liberals to destroy your right to speak out, vote for a candidate, and affect political change, and also to crush any dissent while only allowing approved narratives. So we just have a CNN staffer on tape at an alleged news organization admitting that they basically engaged in propaganda to make sure Donald Trump wasn't reelected. I thought you were hearing the news. Can we stop with the news nonsense now, please? Can we stop with that? These are not legitimate news organizations. These are not. These are propaganda operations. That's all they are. How do we know that? Because of this. The fact that they didn't want Trump elected, by the way, made a lot of the news headlines yesterday. I have to tell you, I find that the least surprising thing about it. That's not a shock to anyone. CNN's not a serious news organization. It never has been. It's a joke. The fact that they were basically a PAC, political action committee for Joe Biden, it's not a mystery to anyone. They hated Donald Trump. That he's admitting it on tape is a little shocking. That he had a little bit of verbal diarrhea there, the CNN staffer. But I found the second part to be more surprising because I had just before watching that clip, not kidding, not a joke, read this piece at cnsnews.com, which again will be in the newsletter if you want to read the whole thing. Major news outlets pledged to begin calling climate change, quote, a climate emergency by Craig Bannister. Wait. I just heard on that hidden video with the CNN guy, him say on tape, we're rapidly moving on from Trump. Trump's gone. Now we're going to start with the fear porn over the climate. That's really strange because I had just read this CNN news article about media and science, air quotes, organizations colluding to call climate change a climate emergency. Don't worry, folks. It's all legit. It's all straight news reporting on facts. All of it. Here's a quote from the CNN news piece. So you know you're being lied to. They're BSing you all day, and idiots fall for it. You wake up every morning as a liberal like a moron, sucking this up like a thirsty dog licking from a bowl, desperate to get your information from admitted liars. Here's a quote from the CNN news piece. A number of major news organizations worldwide, ranging from Scientific American, that's a joke, and the Columbia Journalism Review to The Guardian and Al Jazeera, that's strange, have signed a pledge to begin referring to climate change as a climate emergency in their reporting. Quote, Scientific American has agreed with major news outlets worldwide to start using the term climate emergency in its coverage of climate change, the publication announced Monday in a tweet to 3.9 million followers, touting the impact we hope it can have throughout the media landscape. Don't worry, folks. This is all straight news.
Right.
All of it. Every little bit. Don't you worry. I'm not, I'm in the mood for the show, but I'm not in the mood for this. I'm not. I have had a really, really long few days, as many of you have. There is a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen, and I am candidly really pissed off. Now, I've got more about the big media, big tech, big business, big liberal symbiote. Again, lying to you, crushing dissent, and engaging in fascist-like tactics to usher in a new era of a totalitarian United States where civil liberties don't exist anymore. Man, Dan, that sounds dramatic. It's not dramatic. I'm giving you examples of it happening right now. That's not drama. That's fact. I've got another example, but I'm going to sandwich it with some good news because we are learning to fight back. I've got 2 stories coming up next, which should put a little bit of your smile on your face because people, like I said, the good side to the rapid descent is I believe there's going to be a rapid ascent upwards when people start waking up that their country is disappearing and everything it stood for in front of their very eyes. Some good news up next. The fight back. The fight back has begun. All right, today's show brought to you by our friends at Helix Sleep. Helix Sleep Mattresses has a quiz. It takes just 2 minutes to complete. It matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. I have a Helix Sleep mattress, which, believe me, I need. I've been getting up at the crack of dawn. It reminds me of that commercial for the thing, when How Not to Be Your Parents. Nobody cares what time you get up. That's what happens when you turn 40. You tell everyone what time you get up in the morning. It's so true. But it helps because with Helix, you're getting a mattress you know will be perfect for the way you sleep. Everybody's unique, and Helix knows that. They have several different mattress models to choose from. Soft, medium, and firm mattresses. Mattresses great for cooling you down if you sleep hot. And even a Helix plus-size mattress for plus-size sleepers. I took the Helix quiz. I was matched to my dream mattress, the Midnight Lux, because I wanted something a little firm. I know that sounds weird, but with my bad shoulders, I need a little support there. It helps a lot. It's been awesome getting these videos from you, unboxing the mattress of your dreams from Helix. If you're looking for a mattress, take the quiz. Order the mattress you've been matched to, and the mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free. You don't need to go to a mattress store again. I love my Helix mattress. But don't take my word for it. They were awarded the #1, not #2, the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired Magazine because they're great. Just go to helixsleep.com/Dan. Take their 2-minute sleep quiz. They will match you to a customized mattress that'll give you the best sleep of your life. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for a 100-night sleep trial risk-free. They'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it. Don't worry, you will. Helix also offers exclusive discounts for military, first responders, teachers, and students because they care. Good company here. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at Helix, Helix, helixsleep.com/Dan. That's helixsleep.com/Dan. Go today. You won't regret it. All right, back to the show. So some good news. The rapid descent will be accompanied by a rapid ascent. Because we're not going to take it lying down. If you're not interested in the fight, which I doubt, you wouldn't be listening to my show otherwise. Now that's fine. That's your prerogative. I am. I'm not giving up. I'm not forfeiting the country. I have kids. Even if I wanted to forfeit, you know what? I got this diagnosis. I'm not going to be around and whatever. Which is not. I'll be fine. But that's not the case. I have kids, and I'm not selfish. I am not leaving my kids to this country to descend into a fascist hellhole because of YouTube losers, communists and totalitarians, and big tech zeros. I'm not doing it. And you shouldn't either. If they're going to destroy this country, then we better make it really difficult for them to do it. Some good news from Newsbusters. Another article will be in the newsletter today. More than 35 conservative organizations have signed a pledge now to reject big tech money. Now, I get it. Some of you are hearing this story, understandably, and you're saying, gee, took you long enough. We're supposed to thank you for not taking big tech money. Folks, I know. I get it. We probably should have never been. I should say we. I don't belong to a conservative organization that takes big tech money. But I wrote here a note because I wanted to, again, make sure I got this. This is not a small thing. A lot of these conservative organizations are not for profit. They don't sell anything. They exist on donations. It's hard. Unfortunately, we live in the real world where, these companies who want to advance whatever principles, they're free markets, low taxes, voting rights, whatever they may be, voter integrity, they rely on donations. It's not a small thing to turn to, say, Google and Facebook, because what they like to do, Google and Facebook, and not Twitter so much, they like to play both sides. They do. They're liberal communist organizations, but they play both sides for what? For what? Come on, think it through. I know you know the answer. It's gavel time. Because they want Republicans to be, elected Republicans, to be compliant sucker losers and sit down and shut up, boys and girls. And how do you get them to do that? You write a 6-figure check to their organization. You think Google cares about a $250,000 donation to whatever, conservative group blank.org? That is, 5 seconds of profits for Google, if that? They're not going to miss that $250,000 one bit, but to that group, it is a lifeline. Folks, when you run for office like I did 3 times, you get a lot of experience dealing with conservative groups. They come to you, you go to them for endorsements, you see how the mechanics of these things work. That $250,000, say, Google donation to a conservative group is a game changer. But it doesn't mean anything to Google. They're not going to lose anything. They just do it to play both sides and to shut you up. The fact now that a lot of these groups are turning around and saying, you know what? I'm sorry, but we don't want your money anymore. But thanks for playing is not a small thing. Of course, there's going to be pressure to toe the company line, Google, Facebook, whatever it may be, if they're going to cut you a $250,000 donation. It's not a small thing to say no and turn that money down. Now the pressure to toe that line is off. And I get it. Many of you may say, well, Dan, they should just do the right thing. I get it. You are right. I am with you. Unfortunately, some of them don't, because they've taken the money. Now that the money's gone, everybody's waking up that the very system of civil liberties we've just grown accustomed to as the default Americana, everybody's waking up, including conservative groups that cash those checks, that this has to stop right now, today, not tomorrow, today. It stops today. It's not a small thing that they turn this cash away. We should be pressuring all these conservative organizations to turn that cash away. I'm going through this right now, folks. Believe me, it's not easy. It's not. It is really, really hard. We have taken it on the chin here. Repeat. I'm not looking for anybody's sympathy. Again, it's not a sob story. But I don't bore you with the details of what happens behind the scenes of my show. But we have repeatedly been kicked in the gonads by people trying to get us to do things we are not going to do. Ever. More people are waking up. Here's a Washington Examiner story, again, in the newsletter. New Group to Fight Democrat CEO Wokeism and Anti-Americanism by Paul Bedard in the Washington Examiner. This story had to do with the American Conservative Union and others. These groups now, conservative groups, who are now starting to realize the threat to civil liberties and democracy from American corporations. Yes, that's right. YouTube, Google, fascist Facebook, All of them. They are starting to realize the existential threat from supposedly American corporations eager to attach their lips surgically to the rear end of the Chinese communist torturers of the Uyghurs and the Muslim population in China, the communists, but yet condemning American democracy right here because we try to have free and fair elections in Georgia. These groups are waking up, folks. They are all starting to understand the existential crisis we are in right now. I know the rapid descent into wokeism and chaos and books being banned from Amazon, book burning, censorship on YouTube, totalitarian fascist tactics on Facebook. I get it scares you. It scares me too. But fear can be used for a positive purpose if it motivates you into action. I'm telling you, the do matters. The talk doesn't mean squat. It doesn't mean... You get the point. Talk doesn't mean anything. You have to do stuff. I promise you. You have my word. I am not leading from behind on this. I am doing my best from the front. I can't bore you with this, but we are doing things here too to send a message back that we're not going to be part of this. And there's no amount of money you can pay us to buy us off to be a part of it. None. Zero. I read your emails. There are things I just found out. That's why I'm so furious before this show. You thought I wouldn't see it. I saw it. I saw it. We all need to see it. We are losing this country. It is rapidly disintegrating right before our eyes. We are losing everything right now. The ability to assemble. We're not losing the ability to assemble. Really? You in one of these fascist states that's used the coronavirus as an excuse to lock down their entire economy, you can assemble in an indoor dining restaurant? Try to have a Tea Party rally in an indoor dining restaurant in New York City. Good luck with that. We're not losing the right to speak freely. I just played you a video of the governor of Florida having his speech with medical professionals wiped off of YouTube because YouTube is full of communists. Tell me again how we're not losing the right to speech? Damn, we're not losing the right to religion. There's a baker in Colorado who's being forced to bake Satan cakes because a bunch of insane nutbag activists decided they only believe private business is private when it's liberals. When it's a conservative private business who doesn't want to bake a Satan cake, you better you will comply. But tell me again how we're free to practice religion. You just needed a Supreme Court case. The Supreme Court just finally said, yes, you can gather in homes to practice religion. What the? This is the United States. You had to take a case to the Supreme Court to determine if you could sit in your home and pray with people? This just happened. This isn't a joke. This just happened. I am not BSing you. The Supreme Court just said 5-4, by the way, not 9-0, what it should have been. And they had to overturn the Ninth Circuit. The Supreme Court just said, and that phony, fake fraud John Roberts ruled with the minority, this fake, phony, pathetic Supreme Court justice, Chief Justice of the United States, joke of a human being, John Roberts said, hey, he was with the minority on this. Yeah, we're not so sure you're allowed to gather to pray together. I thought there was a First Amendment. You thought wrong. Oh, don't worry. You're free to petition the government. Are you? Really? I read you an article the other day. Petition? That if you put together a petition and God forbid you put something on social media saying you defend Trump or a petition to defend Trump, that HR managers now are not hiring Trump people if they see anything on their social media. But don't worry, you're free to do it. You're just not free to work if you do it. The whole country's falling apart. It's falling apart. What other wake-up call do we need? Again, I always think back to my friend Ginny, who says all the time, we are the leaders we've been waiting for. You. Don't wait for someone else. Listen, I love Ron DeSantis. He's my go-to right now. But I'm not genuflecting at the altar of Ron DeSantis or Donald Trump or anyone else. You have to take the mantle yourself and do something today. Speak up at your kids' school when they start teaching racist white privilege training. Stop buying anything from Amazon, which is engaged in full-blown book burning. Do not watch another Major League Baseball game again. Do not buy their products. Do not turn them on the television. I said when I was filling in on Fox this weekend, folks, don't forget the golden rule of organizing. You don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun the next guy. What do I mean? You don't have to bankrupt every single company that's fighting the Georgia voter integrity laws because they want corrupted election in Georgia, because that's what they want. You don't have to make an example of every single one. You can't. There's hundreds of them that have signed this ridiculous civic alliance. Why can't? Because you probably don't do business with a lot of them. Some of the companies you've never even heard of. But I can almost guarantee you've done business with one. You don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun the next guy. We have to make an example of one or two. The more the merrier. But if Major League Baseball sees their viewership and attendance down dramatically, sooner or later, money talks and BS walks. It's time to make the BS walk really far. Don't put your butt in those stands no matter what at Major League Baseball. Don't turn it on your television. Don't buy from their sponsors. Do nothing. It's a small price to pay to save this country. I told you we were declining rapidly. We will hit a bottom. I promise you. We have been at really devastating, destructive points in the history of America. We've had a civil war. We've had a revolution, the War of 1812, which we barely won. I mean, some historians would argue we only won because of a thunderstorm in Washington, D.C. We've been through the 60s and the civil rights struggle. This country always comes back because 50% of the population believes in freedom and liberty and entrepreneurship and the right to petition and religion, the right to practice their religion, to speak freely, the right to vote, free of corruption. The fact that the other 50% doesn't and are totalitarian fascists, what do? Just give up and surrender the ring to them? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. This is only calcified my will and strengthen my will to fight back. Everyone has to go down swinging, even if we don't have $1 in our pocket. Everyone. History will judge us harshly if we don't. This media machine with their big business and liberal fascist buddies will do anything to shut you up and to demoralize you. Don't do it. Don't do it. The worst you can do to them, the worst thing you can do to them is to be the last man standing. As everyone else is kneeling before their big tech fascist gods, the worst thing you can do to them is get off your knees and stand up. And you know what the second worst thing you can do to them is? You can be the second person to stand up after you saw the first person standing. We're the leaders we've been waiting for. Don't wait for someone else. No one's coming to save you, folks. Nobody. I'm sorry to tell you that. No one is coming to save you. I can't say this enough. We are the renegades now. We're the misfits. We're the land of misfit toys. We're the rebels now. The counterculture revolutionaries of the 60s are nothing more than compliant fascist sheep right now, populating boardrooms and big tech companies and elected to Congress and elsewhere across the country, eager to make your country a nation of compliant, stupid stupid, ignorant sheep walking off a cliff like dopey lemmings. They're the conformists now. Stand up. You're the rebels now. You're the renegades. It's true. No one is coming to save you. Nobody. You are it. You are the freedom and liberty militia out there. You are it. No one is coming for you. We're the ragtag group of misfits and renegades. We're it. And there's nothing they want more than for you to kneel. And when you stand, someone will see it. Then someone will stand with you. And then maybe we'll get a third person. And then maybe we'll get a fourth. And then maybe over time, they'll realize the futility of this, that 50% of the population that still respects freedom and liberty are not going to give up. They're not going to give up. I don't think I've ever gone off that long on one topic. I have 2 pages of stuff and I really want to get to. All right, let me just here. I do want to get to this because it's important. I told you about this media, Fauci, Dem, Biden, Drudge, symbiote, all of it. I want to go through this block next because it's important. How, again, we're being lied to every day. And the dare to be a truth teller in a village of liars. Dare. You'll be scorned. You'll be laughed at. And I'm sorry, but no one's coming to save you right away. But you can look your kids in the eye and say, son, daughter, I've saved my own soul. I have some dignity and integrity. They are the ones lying, and I'm not going to play the game. Coming up next. Don't miss this video of Fauci because he's another one. No respect for civil liberties at all anymore. All right, folks. Listen, last year over 5 million citizens decided to join the Second Amendment family. I want each and every one of them to pick up a holster from our friends at We the People Holsters. This is my go-to. Starting at just $40, We the People Holsters are custom molded to fit your exact firearm for a quick, smooth draw. That's the problem with these one-size-fits-all in the waistband holsters. The firearm falls out. It's totally not secure. I had one of those for a long time. Then I found We the People. They sent me a sample. I loved it. They have thousands of options to choose from, plus a selection of custom-printed holsters, including a line with real tree camouflage. Really cool. Check those out. While you're there, check out their complete line of patriotic tees, tumblers, and a new EDC tactical gun belt, which comes with a patented Cobra buckle. Every holster and gun belt comes with a lifetime guarantee. If it's not a perfect fit, send it back for a full refund. Show your support for this show and this great American company. Go to wethepeopleholsters.com/Dan right now. Get an additional $10 off with the offer code Dan. Hold on, but leave this up a second, Guy. Before I get to this URL again. Folks, I'm not kidding. The pressure out here to shut up and not say things, I can't even describe to you. It is more important than ever. Sorry to get off script here, but it matters. To support companies that will not play this anti-freedom game and are on the side of freedom and liberty. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that in there. Go to wethepeopleholsters.com/Dan. wethepeopleholsters.com/Dan. I'm asking you for a favor. Support the people that support us. Country's bifurcating into people who love and respect and worship freedom and liberty, and the other half engaged fully in ushering in an era of fascist totalitarianism in the United States. Here's more evidence of the media, Fauci, Dem, Biden, Drudge panic machine, again, using panic to thoroughly evaporate and destroy the First Amendment. Here's a video of Dr. Fauci, again, who I went easy on for a long time, hoping he would come around, who now is just, again, sowing total chaos. And YouTube, by the way, I'm going to play. I don't care if you delete our video or not. I don't care one bit. I'm not interested in you, your garbage communists that work there. I don't care. I'm going to play this video. Here's Dr. Fauci. And I'm just going to ask you, you're done with this. After you're done with listening to this video, I want you to ask yourself a question. So does the vaccine work or not? Because if the vaccine works, then how does any of this make any sense with Dr. Fauci? Check this out.
Eating and drinking indoors in restaurants and bars, is that okay now?
No, it's still not okay for the simple reason that the level of infection, the dynamics of infection in the community are still really disturbingly high.
So again, why are you, I don't understand, if the goal is to get people to take the vaccine as a public health professional like Dr. Fauci, then why are you going on MSNBC suggesting somehow that there's a dangerous situation in indoor dining? If you've taken a vaccine, you're trying to get people to take. What am I missing? I'm sure this video will be banned by the fascist communists at YouTube because God forbid we ask these questions. Questions like, if public health professionals, air quotes like Fauci, are trying to get people to take a vaccine, then why would you say that? What is it? Does it work or not? It's almost as if they're trying to keep us in a state of 24-hour, 7-day, 365 days a year panic. It's almost like that. They can't seem to figure out what's true or not. Hat tip Raheem Kassam. I saw this on his social media feed. Here's the Washington Post. Ladies and gentlemen, these are two real headlines, by the way. This is not a joke. These are two headlines from the Washington Post. Little less than a year apart. Actually, little less than a year, but that's right. Here's April of 2020 by Eliza McGraw at the Washington Post. Real headline. Everyone wore masks during the 1918 flu pandemic. They were useless. Here's a year later, March 12th, 2020 by John Barry. Again, Washington Post. Abandoning masks now is a terrible idea. The 1918 pandemic shows why. Is YouTube going to ban the Washington Post account? Do they have an account there? Are they going to ban that for misinformation? Because both of those stories can't be true, right? I'm just asking you for reason. YouTube communists, I'm just asking you to use reason. I know you can't do that because you're fascist communists. I know you can't do that. But I'm asking you to try for a moment to pull yourselves out of the jerkwad bubble you live in, right? And to use reason. Is the Washington Post headline about masks being useless true? Or is the other Washington Post headline about masks not being useless true? Which one is true? Because one of them is misinformation, correct? I'm just asking. I know you're incapable of reason because you're an 18-and-a-half-year-old intern who's been trained in communist tactics at one of America's horrendous public schools, and you're working right now on YouTube as a fact checker or something with no background in anything. You don't even have a background in tiddlywinks or Legos, and yet you're determining if the governor of Florida can speak. I know you're watching that right now, going, wow, he's right. One of those is technically misinformation. Oh, should we ban the Washington Post? Of course not. They're liberals, and you suckle on the teat of liberalism every day. You losers. Here's Drudge, the Drudge Report. Again, disclosure, I have an alternative to Drudge Report. Bongino Report has nothing to do with this story other than the fact that Drudge Report has been taken over again by total lunatics. Here was a headline from the other day. Don't worry, Drudge, giving you the news, folks. This was the headline. This is a screenshot for liberals. Pfizer can't stop the South Africa strain. Oh my gosh. Everybody should panic. Fauci saying indoor dining is dangerous. The Washington Post, masks don't work. Masks work. They can't seem to get straight which piece of information they want out there. Drudge, everybody panic. The South African variant bypasses the vaccine altogether. They do. They do. Drudge, a garbage trash site. Drudge, garbage site. You want to know why I started Bongino Report? What do you think? It was because of the amazing money? No. Because I got tired of garbage like this, and I do stuff. Doing matters. Here's the actual story that Drudge was referring to. See, Drudge, this is where Drudge is populated again, probably by a bunch of 12-year-old interns. You have to read the story to figure out what it said. Did it actually say that the South African variant can defeat the vaccine? Well, here's the article by Nathan Jeffy at Times of Israel. Israeli data shows South African variant is able to break through the Pfizer vaccine. Oh my gosh, was Drudge right? Well, because Drudge has a bunch of probably 12-year-old interns, again, with no experience in anything, they probably didn't read the actual story. Because when you get to the actual data in the story, I know that's hard for them to read and all, you see this line. This is a quote, liberals. That means it's in the story. Quote, she said that the results show that the South African variant, compared to the original strain and the British variant, quote, is able to break through the vaccine's protection. Oh my gosh. However, she said the sample size is too small to put a figure on its increased ability. Maybe you want to throw that in there. Maybe throw that in there that the scientists themselves are acknowledging that this sample size is too small to really make any big, gross systemic determinations from it. That would be called actual research and journalism. I know you're not very good at that, though. Gee, can we skip ahead for a second to the viewer email? Because I need a mental break. Is that a problem? Thank you. I get a lot of viewer. I need a mental break for a second. You guys send a lot of email and comments on the show. And given that we don't have a call-in line yet, we will with my terrestrial radio show, May 24th. I read your emails and comments everywhere, and I find a lot of them to be really funny. Can I just read a few? Is that okay, folks? I'm asking you like you're going to respond. The show's recorded, of course, so there's not going to be any. It's that we don't have ESP or anything. Yeah. But here was one I found yesterday. This is a comment. He says, quote, some dude, I left their names out. Some dude told me this morning on one of these pages that he believes Dan faked his cancer diagnosis. He claims it's because he never talked about it after he was diagnosed with lymphoma. I refuted his claim. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. Thanks for refuting that claim. Interesting one. Saw that this morning. Folks, I don't talk about my cancer all the time because we have real problems in the world and you don't need to hear about my cancer. But I promise you, this scar on my neck, that wasn't the doctor removing a hickey from Paula, and this port in my chest is not a golf ball that got stuck under my skin. That's a chemo port. And it would be really desperate to go to a doctor and say, hey, man, I want a fake cancer on my show. Can you install a chemo port in my chest? That's evil, wrong, but that's dedication right there. That is dedication. That's committing to the lie right there. Well, can you cut a hole in my neck and pretend you removed the tumor? I don't talk about it because there are more important things right now. And I'm not dying. I'll be okay. And even if I was dying, I still wouldn't get off the air anyway. But that was interesting. Here's another one, just one more, and then we'll get back to the substance of the show. I don't do this a lot, but you guys comment, ladies, and I feel like I should read them once in a while. This is a great one. This one's actually, Joe, check this. This is pretty hilarious. Lady says, I just called Delta, Delta that boycotted the Georgia voter integrity law, and I asked if I needed an ID to fly. I told them I'm black, and they sound like racists. He hung up on me and then called me back. So I let him know that it's racist to hang up on a black person and for demanding an ID. I think I'll do that another 50 times. Yes! Yes! I love you. Whoever put that on the comments section of one of my videos, you are the leader forget what I said before. We're the leaders we've been waiting. We're all waiting on you. We are all waiting on you. That is awesome. Maybe everybody should call Delta and ask if they need an ID to fly, because it does sound like it's racist. Just check. Especially if you're black, you should call. If they hang up on you, that is definitely racist, by the way. 100%. Oh, boy. Don't call Delta. Just don't fly Delta. If you can, avoid it. Don't fly United or American either. I'm not kidding, folks. I'm seriously. It's time for us to stand up. Whatever you got to do. People have suffered a lot more for liberty and freedom. They ate their shoe leather at Valley Forge. All right, I'm not going to get to this other. What did I got on the other side? Damn, those are good stories too. We'll definitely exit though with Ayn Rand. So don't forget that. All right. So we're going to do this story, and I got an Ayn Rand quote. A good friend of mine who actually believes in liberty and freedom sent me this morning, and it should motivate you to action. But I want to get to this story, be in the newsletter, because it's important, because it goes back to this may be Dan Bongino golden rule number 5 or 6, although I did not make this up. So let's call it golden rule number 5 or 6 on the list. We'll add it at the end of the Dan Bongino rules.
All right.
That a liberal is a conservative who's been mugged. That's kind of an old joke that goes around, that once you get mugged, you're not a Democrat, you become a Republican quickly. All that talk about defund the police. I just got mugged. Refund the police. That's an old joke. I mean, people in New York used to say it all the time. Democrat's a liberal who's been mugged. The gist of it is, it's easy to be a liberal when liberal policies don't kick you in the cajones, right? I know I'm saying I get it. Well, these liberal policies are about to kick you right in the cojones if you're a liberal who lives in the suburbs, and that's a whole lot of rich white liberals. They live in the burbs. You know the burbs? Montgomery County, Maryland, occupied Montgomery County. A lot of communists live in Montgomery County, Maryland. You know, I lived in Maryland. I know Montgomery County very well.
Yep.
A lot of them are now leaving to go to Frederick County to turn Frederick County communist too, which is really sad. But it's easy to be a liberal in the burbs of Montgomery County, Maryland, because you got your nice white picket fence, your 2.5 kids, your doggy named Fido, whatever. You edge your lawn. You don't even edge your lawn. The immigrants do it who come into the country illegally, and you love taking advantage of their cheap labor and taking advantage of them too. You love all that. You love that stuff. Do all the work. You don't have to do anything. But all of a sudden, a policy comes along promoted by liberals that kicks you in the teeth, and you're like, wow, this really sucks. I warned you about this policy a long time ago. It's called AFFH, Affirmatively Furthering Fair Housing. It was an Obama policy, and it's back. Trump and Ben Carson got rid of it, but it's back. Read this story in the Epic Times. Be in my newsletter today. Biden moves to revive Obama plan to federalize suburban zoning regulations. Let me translate that title for you. If you're living in the burbs and Biden gets its way, and it looks like he's going to, you're about to have a bunch of high rises and low-income housing built in your suburbs. I say terrific. Let it happen. Montgomery County, Maryland, rich white liberals want to vote for communism and fascism in the United States. Let's see low-income housing. And by the way, we can move a bunch of illegal immigrants in. They're going to need housing as well. Let's move that right next door to your house. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm all for this now. I was against AFFH. I am all for this now because conservative states won't let it happen. What is it? Well, here's a quote from the Epic Times piece. The Obama AFFH conditioned receipt by local and municipal officials of billions of dollars of federal money on their acceptance of a HUD-approved plan to eliminate zoning policies defined as discriminatory. Ha! What are they really saying? You want those federal dollars? You want that federal cheese in your neighborhood? You're going to build a bunch of low-income housing right in the middle of your suburbs. I say go for it. You liberal Montgomery Countyites, you want that federal cheese? Good. You can accept the new federal rules for high-density housing right in the middle of your neighborhood, right in the middle of Germantown. Good for you. Here's screenshot number 2. The Biden AFFH revival goes even further by providing specific examples of what it considers discriminatory zoning and creating billions of dollars of new programs to incentivize local and municipal officials to submit to federal supervision of their decisions. Ha! I don't know about you folks, but I'm all for it. Now you want this? You want it? You can have it. A liberal's a conservative who's been mugged. When these liberal policies kick you in the teeth, maybe that descent into chaos will turn around quickly, like it did in New York City, which I lived through. 3,000 homicides, economic chaos, the bond market leaves. What happens? Rudy Giuliani gets elected in New York, and they have the greatest 12-year run we've had in a really, really long time. We're going to hit the bottom soon. I promise you. Why? Why are we going to hit the bottom soon? Well, hat tip to my friend Jeff. Let me quote Ayn Rand here. Quote, "We are fast approaching the stage of the ultimate inversion, the stage where the government is free to do anything it pleases, while the citizens may act only by permission, which is the stage of the darkest periods of human history, the stage of rule by brute force." We're only minutes from that now. The good news is people are waking up, and as fast as it collapsed, it can come back. I know my optimism can be annoying to some, but I just refuse to give up on this place. There's nothing else left. Where are we going to go? New Zealand? This is it. I was born here. I grew up here. My wife struggled hard to make it in this country as an immigrant. I'm not giving it up. You think I'm going to forfeit because 50% of the country have gone full communism? I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be a piece of that. Nope. No chance. All right, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate you all reaching out to your radio stations, asking them. We just believe we bought a new one on today out in Delaware, the whole Delmarva area. So we really appreciate that. We'll be launching the terrestrial radio show May 24th. Call your local station, email them, ask them if they're going to carry the new Dan Bongino show. We'd really appreciate your support on that. It matters a lot. And please subscribe to my video show. Today's is pretty priceless. Rumble.com/Bongino. We'll see you all tomorrow.
You just heard the Dan Bongino Show.